Okay, we're live.
We live? I'll
We are
introduce it. What's up, guys? Welcome to another elephant challenge. How many does this make, Ange? A lot.
oh, year and a half's worth.
Year and a half's worth of elephant challenges. We're going to keep going too, so they don't ever stop. So we'll change them up and keep going. And want to thank everybody that's here. What do we have? 57. Somebody just dropped off. They didn't like my voice. We had 58 a second ago. I want to welcome you guys. If you don't like us, then we're the wrong people. If you love us, stay with us. We'd love to have you. Let's all learn a lot of stuff, get the skills to get the deals, and earn some money along the way. And I bet you guys meet a whole bunch of cool people. We've met so many good people in sub two and doing these things, and even the elephant challenge. We have people that come in now that we never knew before, but they come into the office all the time from the elephant challenge. We never would have met them, never would have got the opportunity to build that relationship. So it's not just about learning real estate, which that's our main point, but it's the relationships that really matter. So take that into consideration. It's a marathon and not a race. So let's build some relationships in here. Dylan, you look like you're ready. Dylan, are you ready? He's combing his hair.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'll turn it over to you, Dylan.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, welcome, guys. Super stoked to have all of you. Welcome to the Elephant Challenge 2.0. We're super excited to have you guys. Thanks for joining our team, at the very least, joining this Zoom to see if you like who we are and want to be a part of the team. So we've been doing the Elephant Challenge for over a year now. Pace did it middle of last year, and we were the first leaders to jump on that and have been going strong ever since. The Elephant Challenge stopped late last year, but it never stopped for us. We've been doing these Zooms twice a week for a long time now. So super stoked that Pace brought it back, and we're excited to have you guys. So yeah, just like to kind of take a head count. We've had some of the OGs stick with us since the very beginning of the first Elephant Challenge. But if you guys are new and haven't been in a Herd of Profits or an Elephant Challenge Zoom like this one before, if you guys don't know who we are, type 1 in the chat for me. Just want to take a head count, see who the newcomers are. Sweet. Right on. Lots of ones. Glad to have you guys. So first things first, I just like to introduce us and show you guys how you can connect with us. The point of these Zooms. Today's topic is just going to be identifying a market and what a good lead looks like, right? So Pace talked about that at length this past week for the 3, 4 hour, 6 hour long Zooms that he did about picking a market, all that good stuff. So we want to go into more of the nitty gritty of what a good deal looks like, what we're looking for, touch on underwriting a little bit. We're going to show you guys Privy and PropStream and all these different softwares we use to find and identify deals. We're going to look at cash deals as well. So not just creative, we do cash wholesale, fix and flips as well. And we're also going to look at, seller finance subject to deals as well too. I just wrote an offer on a seller finance deal right before we got on here. So first things first, if you guys don't know, we do have our very own Facebook group called Herd of Profits. That's the name of our team in the Elephant Challenge. Let me find where I'm going here. So Herd of Profits, when Pace did the Elephant Challenge, we had over 200 people request to join. So it got pretty backed up, but we should have approved everybody. So I just posted the link in the chat. If you guys want to join the Facebook group, definitely go and check that out. Lots of good resources on the Facebook group. We're growing our own little community. We have Jerry Norton's a part of the Herd of Profits as well too, so glad to have Jerry. But yeah, we have sub 2 students, boots on the ground, private money lenders, traditional lenders, contractors, agents, you name it. We probably have someone across the country in all 50 states in the group, so great place to connect and squad up in there. And then if you come over to the files tab, this is probably the best benefit of the Facebook group, and we're not sure how much longer we're going to keep all these files in here, but we have home buyers guides, our wholesale criteria, our buy boxes. We have a purchase and sale agreement. This is a wholesale contract for it costs $3,000 that it's your guys to have for free if you join the Facebook group. seller net sheets, scripts, underwriting calculators, buy box, estimating repair costs, letter of intent templates. So a ton of free resources and value in the Facebook group for you guys to go and get your hands on. On top of that, like I said, we've been doing these Zooms for a long time. So we've recorded and stocked up a pretty good portfolio of videos for you guys to come check out. So if you go to Angie's YouTube, I'm going to drop the link to that in the chat. If you guys could go subscribe to Angie's YouTube, we're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. It's totally free. Doesn't cost any money to subscribe. Go and share the channel with your aunts and your uncles and your friends and your dogs, all that good stuff. Drop a like, drop a comment. We greatly appreciate it. But we've been doing this for a while, like I said. So we have Zooms on underwriting, on walking sellers through contracts, identifying leads, lead generation in general, talking to agents, talking to sellers. So we've been doing this for a while. Like I said, tons of live calls. And that's what you can expect from these Zooms. So if you like our team, you like who we are, what we represent, like I said, we do this twice a week. We go live. We'll do live calls. We'll underwrite your guys' leads live and send offers if needed. We'll get on the phone with sellers and agents and negotiate and try to get contracts signed. We'll help find buyers for your deals. So tons of resources in the YouTube channel. Go and check that out. Tons of videos in here. And then lastly, but most importantly, is our Discord. So we're really trying to grow our Discord. Thank you, Angie. Appreciate it. So we're really trying to join our Discord. If you guys could come check out the Discord, I'm going to drop the link to that in just a second. Let me make sure I have it. Oh, Jake dropped it. Okay, perfect. So yeah, if you guys go check out the chat, Jake just dropped a link to the Discord. It's launchpass.com/reps. Some people do have a hard time getting in the Discord. It's a little bit trickier if you're not so technology friendly, but once you sign up with the website, make sure you use the same email when you sign up on the website that you used for your Discord account. So if you already have a Discord and you're using your personal email, sign up on the website with that same email. Don't use a different one. But the Discord is really where we're trying to grow the community. So if you come in here, we have first off the bat this links channel. So these are forms to the Facebook group, Instagram, stuff like that. But down here is our lead forms. So one of the major reasons we do this challenge is not only to provide a ton of value and just be amazing leaders in the space of creative finance and PACE's community, but we hope to give as much value as possible. So that way, in turn, when you guys have a lead you're working on and you're not sure how to underwrite it, you don't have a sub-2 contract, you don't have all the buyers, maybe you don't have earnest money to deposit and you need help with a Gator loan. Those are all things we can help you with. So whether you're brand new, you're out there calling foreclosures, you're door knocking, you're driving for dollars, whatever the case may be, and you get someone that's interested, or you think you found a motivated seller, you can submit that lead through our JV forms. So we have a direct agent lead form and a direct to seller lead form that's right here in the links channel. You can also find these links on the Facebook group as well. But direct to agent, obviously, if you find a good on-market lead, you want to submit it to us. From there, we help you underwrite it, negotiate it, get it contracted, open escrow, deposit earnest money, find a buyer, transaction coordinating, whatever you need help with, we'll jump in and help you get that deal to the closing line. We also have dispo forms. Now, let's say you already have a property under contract. You just need help finding a buyer. Same thing. We have access to cartel mode on Investor Lift, which is $30,000 a year. We have partners that will post our deals on there as well. So we'll get your deals in front of millions of cash buyers across the country. We also have our own cash buyers and investor buyers list as well. We'll put it in front of, and a few other partners that have big dispo websites as well that we can get it in front of and get that deal sold, hopefully. We're pretty confident that if you submit a deal to us already locked up and we can't find a buyer within, I would say, 5 days, it's probably not a good lead because, like I said, we have access to top cash buyers and some of the best creative buyers in the country. We also have wrap buyers, wrap buyer form as well. So if you know someone that's looking for a primary residence, we have a wrap buyer form that you can submit as well, and we'll connect them with the properties that we know are available for seller finance. And then we also have an investor buyer form as well. So if you guys want to see some of the deals that we send out, if you're in here right now and you're like, I don't want to wholesale, I don't want to call agents, I just want to buy deals. This is a great place to learn underwriting and learn what a good deal looks like. But we also have this investor buyer form. If you want to join our buyers list and get first access to the deals that we sell, click this link as well too. So let's see. Thank you, Lizanne. Appreciate it. Sweet. So like I said, today we want to show you guys what a good lead looks like. So, the idea is that you guys are out there calling it, you're causing havoc, you're door knocking, you're calling foreclosures, you're calling agents, right? You're sourcing leads, and you need help with the back end of it, of sending offers, lead management, all that good stuff. I want to show you guys what our CRM looks like as well, real quick. So if you do submit a lead, you know what it looks like for us on our end. So this is a snapshot into our CRM. We use a Go High Level platform CRM. This is just a test contact, but if you guys submit a lead, right, we can see here's the form submitted. This is just a test, but this is a direct to seller lead form, but it has the JV partner. So when you guys click that form, it lists you as the JV partner, and then all the other info about the deal, finances, stuff like that. But down here, we have your information saved. So anytime we touch this lead, let's say I call the agent and they don't pick up, I just write left a message, called twice, no answer, call again tomorrow. I will write those notes down here, called twice, left a message. Once I hit save, that automatically emails you guys an update as to what's going on with your leads. So that way, we're looking at your leads, we're touching them, we're doing what we need to do. And then all the info for me comes through my property details. So there's no notes. Again, this is just a test, but property notes here, right? You're going to leave me as detailed notes as possible. Had a great conversation with the agent. Seller is underwater and in foreclosure. They're behind 3 months of payments, whatever, right? Like leave us as much detailed notes as possible. So that way we know where you're at, where you're stuck, and what you're needing help with. And then from there, we'll, like I said, call the agent, send an offer, do whatever we need to do wherever you're stuck at. That's Saturday at Monkey Barrel, Rach?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. And then real quick too, real side announcement too. If any of you guys are in Colorado, we are the accountability leaders for Colorado Sub 2. We host two meetups every month. The Denver meetup is happening this following Saturday. So what day is that, Rach?
It's Saturday.
The 3rd?
Yes.
The 3rd, February 3rd, it's at Monkey Barrel in Denver. That's off of 44th and Tejon, Monkey Barrel at 4 p.m. So if you guys are in Colorado, we'd love to see you. We probably had like 50 people at our last meetup. So definitely a lot of people show up.
More than that.
More than that. Yeah. We pack a lot of people into the Monkey Barrel. So love to see you guys if you're in Colorado. If you're not in Colorado and you love to go to a meetup, just connect on the Creative Facebook group and make a post. Say, hey, I'm in New Jersey. Where are the Sub 2 meetups happening? And someone will reach out to you. Sweet. So today, like I said, we're going to go over identifying leads. Like what is an actual, right? Like Pace talked about markets, and there's so many markets, right? There's deals in South Dakota, not as many, but there's deals in South Dakota. So whatever market you picked, that's fine. But now how do you know what a good lead actually looks like, right? So I want to show you guys Privy and how we source leads from Privy. And then Jake is going to show you some cash deals, right? Like what do we look at when we're looking at cash deals? And then Joey's going to show you guys creative deals. So if you haven't got Privy yet, that's totally fine. We have affiliate links with Privy as well. We also have affiliate links with PropStream too. So if you guys do want to use PropStream instead, we have affiliate links that you guys can use and get a discount on those as well. So and then at the end of the Zoom, we're going to open it up to a Q&A. So if you guys have questions, feel free to raise your hand right now. That way you get first in the queue. We're just going to do it in order of whoever raises their hand. So if you want to raise your hand, we'll get to your questions at the end. And then who knows, we'll probably answer a lot of your questions throughout this. So let me get started. So I want to show you guys Privy.
Dale, let's find out who we have in here. How many sub 2, how many gators, and then if we have any agents in here. Just put sub 2 if
Okay.
you're sub 2, or agent if you're an agent. If you're all of the above, then put all of them in the chat, just so we know, who's in here. Gators, sub 2 gators.
Nice.
Newbie. Gators.
Sweet. A lot of gators. We're in the swamps of Florida right now. Stoked. Right on. And I'm sure we have, and I didn't really introduce it to, if most of you guys, a lot of you guys don't know us, right? We're the accountability leaders in Colorado. We've been in sub 2 since the beginning. Been to multiple masterminds. Our main business model right now is wholesale. So we probably wholesale anywhere from 5 to 10 deals a month, mostly creative finance. Last year, we probably did 70 transactions. I would say 90 of them were sub 2, and the other cash. And then on top of that, Dom and Angie probably did, I don't know, 30 or 40 retail transactions as well, just being agents. So lots of different expertises in here. So we're stoked to have you guys. As far as Gator goes too, whether you guys are looking to lend earnest money, you want to be a private money lender, you want to be a buyer. I tell every Gator I talk to that the biggest thing you need to learn is underwriting. So hopefully we can show you guys a lot more on how to underwrite a deal. And that way you're quick. Someone sends you a deal, they need earnest money. You need to know how to underwrite and look at that deal quick. Because if it's not a good deal, you shouldn't lend on it. Sweet. All right, guys. So let me show you Privy. Pace really pushed Privy, and Privy is a great program, a great software to have to identify properties. We use Privy mostly for comping and for finding cash buyers. You can still find amazing deals on Privy. We tend to use PropStream more to find deals, but you can still find great deals on Privy. And I'll show you one of the ways that we do it. If I can log in here. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, we crashed it. Okay. So Privy is pretty user-friendly to use as well, too. It's very simple, right? But let's say I'm looking in Texas, right? Let's just go to DFW. So right away, there's a ton of possible fix and flips, pop tops, buy and holds, all that good stuff. So one of my favorite filters to use on Privy is I like absentee owner, tired landlord, zombie property. And I'll run search for that.
Slow down a little bit, Dale,
look at-
for everybody. Slow down
Okay.
just a little
Yeah,
bit when you're clicking those. Just slow down a little bit so people can.
Okay,
see
I
what
know
you
I'm
click.
too quick. Pace likes to, if you guys watch Pace, he's very slow, very detailed, very patient. I'm a little bit quicker, but so filters, right? If you zoom into an area that you like, that you've identified, right? And just hit filter, scroll all the way down. You can mess with these if you'd like, but I like absentee owner, tired landlords, zombie properties, right? So that means that these are people who don't live in the property. They've owned it for probably 15 plus years and the property needs some work, right? So right there, those are 3 motivating factors that could identify a possible good deal. So if I just zoom into Fort Worth right here, and I'm just going to start clicking. So I'm looking for properties that need work, right?
Hey,
Like here's
Dylan,
one.
I'm gonna keep interrupting you every time. What's a zombie property? Somebody asks.
Yeah, good question. Zombie property is just a property that needs work. It looks like it's run down. There's boarded up windows, tall grass, right? Like the siding's peeling. There's tarps on the roof. There's trash in the front yard. That would be a zombie property. No, please, Dom. Yeah, keep jumping in. Okay, so here's one. Let's see. They have solar. That's the first thing I notice. But pretty nice on the inside. this might be one I'd call and just see, look at this. So absentee owner, I forget what the cash symbol is, but tired landlord, right? Zombie property. So, oh, it's paid off. Yeah. So I would maybe call this and see if they're open to seller finance and just see if that seller is open to that. But I'm sure just by scrolling through here, we're going to find some properties that need some work. Again, another nice property. Now, this is really important for you guys to know. When I'm looking at properties that don't need any work and they're on market, right? They're actively listed with an agent. You have to know this seller's motivation, right? Are they a tired landlord? Do they need to sell quickly, or are they willing to take seller finance? If they're not willing to take seller finance at all, then this probably is a dead lead, right? Because my cash offer, it has to be at 80% of the after repair value. So they're asking 255. It's already repaired. So I know that they're close to their ARV. It's probably less because they're not selling. So I need to offer 80% of probably 235,000. So I'm going to be south of 200,000, right? Now, when you guys
Can I
are
ask,
calling on
Dylan,
market,
can I ask how this is a zombie property? Because that was a good question, and these are fixed up properties, so I can't figure out why the zombies.
go ahead.
Okay, here, I think Dylan told you what a zombie property was. It is two things. Some people call it just a rundown house, but it also, what a lot of people call a zombie property is when it's vacant, right? A lot of the times it is beat up, but the bank was going to foreclose on them, but never did. So it's still in the homeowner's name. They're behind on mortgage payments and it's empty, right? A bank was going to foreclose on them. They're probably in arrears, but it's empty, it's vacant, and the bank never foreclosed. That's pretty much what a zombie property is. It doesn't necessarily have to be beat up.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because that was confusing me. Thanks.
And this data you see is not always going to be right too. Like maybe it was a zombie property, but you know, they bought it and fixed it up. So and especially when you're looking in Texas, a lot of data is going to be third party. So here's another one, right? So the key is like try to find these properties on Privy, throw them into Zillow. So this is now off market, but still a very nice looking property. Okay. So the only two offers that make sense for a property that needs no work is a cash offer, but it's not a cash offer at where they're listed, right? It's got to be at least 80% of where they're listed. And there has to be a motivating factor for them to want to take an 80% offer, right? They're getting foreclosed on. They have to move. Maybe they don't care that they're going to lose the money, right? They just need it sold. Or a seller finance offer. Okay. Now, just because they're open to seller finance doesn't immediately make that a good deal, right? They want 351 for this property, but if they're like, I want 30% down and 10% interest, that's a horrible deal. So seller finance offers, you have to look for properties that the sellers are offering better terms than what a bank would give you. So I want properties where I can get into them for less than 10% down and less than probably like 5% interest. You know, at least 5, 4.5 is ideal. And the sellers have to be willing to carry it for at least 5 to 7 years minimum, ideally 10. But if you guys are calling properties, you know, like we get a ton of leads sent to us where people just Google seller finance on Zillow and then they send us all those listings. But if you call those listings, right, they want 30% down, they want 10% interest, they want you to carry it for only 24 months and then you have to refinance, right? Those are not good leads. So let's keep going on Privy. Let's try to find a property that does look like it maybe needs some work.
Hey, Dill, can you answer the question absentee owner versus vacant?
Yeah, good question. So absentee owner just has to deal with who owns the property, right? But vacancy is like who's living in it. So that could be a tenant lives in the property, but the actual owner doesn't live there. So that would be a tenant occupied property with an absentee owner.
It's based on what's in the window.
Right. Yeah, and Jake brings up a good point too. So if they have an FHA loan, that's typically a retail owner occupied loan. Now, if it's a conventional loan or a DSCR loan, an investor loan, they know that most likely that property is not owner occupied. Maybe it's tenant occupied. So yeah. So this one, I actually called on this one. It was super annoying, but here's a perfect example of a lead that you'd find on Privy, right? So 200,000, they've been listed for 72 days. I called the number on Zillow and got in touch with the owner, and he said they're not looking at any offers until you've walked the property. And obviously, I'm not in Grand Prairie, Texas, so it didn't seem like it would be worth my time to go and find someone to go walk the property for me. But for you guys, it might be worth it, right? Like if you've identified Dallas as your market, you probably should get some boots on the ground and say, hey, here's a lead. Can someone go walk this property for me, take pictures? I'd love to JV. And then from there, we'll figure out, okay, what repairs are needed. And then you guys can submit that lead to us and we'll be able to get your max allowable offer and present it to the seller. Okay, so keep looking, but this is just a great way, easy, super easy way. Like, okay, perfect. Here we go. So absentee owner, they bought it in cash, tired landlord, zombie property. You can tell from the pictures that it's pretty beat up. So I'm gonna put this in Zillow now and look at it. So it's been listed for 72 days. So that tells me right off the bat that it's not the most highly motivated seller, right? Because if it was, they've gotten offers, guaranteed they've gotten offers. Every investor that this property went live in the first 30 days, every major player in Dallas saw this property already. I guarantee you they saw it, they walked it, they have an offer in on it. So this agent has already gotten low cash offers. So for me, I'm going to call this agent and just see how it's going, right? Do you have, have you had a lot of traction in the past few days? Have you had any offers that make sense to your client? What's the highest offer they've turned down? I called a property yesterday that was listed for 199,000, and this is an amazing question. You guys should write this down. What's the highest offer your client has declined? So 199,000, the highest offer they declined was 190,000. So right away that tells me this guy's not serious about selling it, right? He doesn't need to sell it. He just wants 200, and if he doesn't get it, he's going to hold on to it. So that's an amazing question to ask your agents and your sellers. What's the highest offer that you've seen them turn down? And then from there, is it even worth your time, right? Because my offer for them was going to be like 150 grand. So I'm not even going to waste my time to send that offer when they're turning down offers at 190. Same thing, see if they're open to creative and take that conversation as far as you can go, right? Have you had a conversation with them about seller finance? That's another great nugget I would write down. Have you had a conversation about seller finance or subject to? If it's yes, okay, are they open to it? Yes, great. Do they have terms? Like what is their minimum down payment they need? Or like what terms do they want? If it's no, then you can ask them, okay, well, I can submit a seller finance offer to you, but you still want to know their motivation, right? If they're 90 years old, seller finance offer probably doesn't make sense. They're not going to be alive much longer. So seller finance probably doesn't make sense.
Unless they have heirs and they don't want their heirs to get all the money at once. So it could make sense. Don't ever rule that out.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So here's one you guys could call, but this is just a quick, easy way to identify, motivated sellers on Privy. Another cool thing about Privy, I can go to public records and I can go to mortgage history. Of course, it's not going to have data on every single home, but you can also see maybe they have a conventional loan at 3%. And maybe their loan was at 300,000, right? So this is a low equity, possible subject to deal. So just another great way using Privy to identify zombie properties. On that one. Didn't even read the notes. This home features an office, dining area, fence. Owner carries first. I don't know what that means. Yeah. So maybe the owner is open to subject to. So here's a lead for you guys. If you guys want to call this and see what's going on with this property. Austin was going to do it. So let's keep looking, right? But this is just an super easy way for me to get familiar with a market, right? Start calling some of these agents. And the number one question you can ask before you hang up is, do you have any other listings that make sense for a fix and flip or for a rental property? So pocket listings, right? All that good stuff. A lot of nice looking homes on this filter though.
You know, a great feature,
you can
a
also,
great feature to show Dylan is on Privy is how you can compare it, because it can really show you how to comp. You can go back and look at a flipped house and go look, oh, they just did carpet, they just did this, oh, they had to do everything. So it gives you a good idea of what buyers in that area are having to do to these houses, and it lets you see it side by side. Like, look at the kitchen, look at the kitchen. I love using Privy for just that reason, if that reason only.
yeah.
For that real fast.
Just playing around with different filters here. But yeah, you guys should play around with these different filters, right? Like, let's see for absentee owners in pre-foreclosure. Okay, so here's one. Absentee owner in pre-foreclosure, on market, listed 21 days ago, so has not been on the market very long. Photos look like they were taken with a potato, so that's good. So here's another lead. I would just call and see what's going on, right? And again, you know that it has to be either a low cash offer or some type of creative finance. So, always go for cash first. Cash is a way easier deal to underwrite, way easier deal to sell. There's way more cash buyers than there are creative buyers. It makes sense to sellers and agents. So it's a lot easier of a deal to get versus a creative one. But if they're completely not even entertaining offers below 440,000, it probably doesn't make sense for us for cash, right? So now I'm going to say, okay, have you had a conversation with them about seller finance or subject to, and go about it that way. Let's see. Parker asks a great question. I knew we'd get this question. Is Privy that different than PropStream? I would say Privy is a lot different than PropStream. And like Dom was showing, right? So I was looking at a deal in San Antonio. Let me get rid of my filters here. Actually, let me stop share. I want to show you guys how we comp properties as well real quick on Privy. We have a direct to seller lead in San Antonio, Keller Street. So let me show you guys this property. Okay, so here's how you can easily comp properties, especially in areas like Texas, Idaho, all these other areas where they're non-disclosure states and Zillow doesn't show you what properties sell for. So here's a property we have under contract right now, and we're looking for a buyer. We just got this this weekend. So I can hit before and after, right? Nothing happened. But if I hit comparables, this right here. So when you see something that says 170 sold for 395, this is an investor comp. So I can click on that one, 395, and I can hit this before and after, right? And then look at that. You can tell that an investor came in here and fixed this up. So they bought it for 170 and they exited at 395. It took them 168 days for construction and they spent 42 days on market, right? So here's a very similar comp. I have my property under contract at 180 and I know that I can at least get 395. My property has an ADU in the back as well too. So I'm pretty confident that an investor could get 415 just based on that ADU in the back. And this one sold in October of last year, so still very, very close to now. ADU is an what is an alternate dwelling unit, accessory dwelling unit. So or casita is another name of it, but it's basically mother-in-law suite. It's a separate dwelling unit on the property. Additional dwelling unit, yeah. Something dwelling unit. That's what we know for sure. But like, here's the great thing too, is I can go to MLS details and I can see, here's the agent's name, Samuel Tripp. And he was the representative of the fix and flippers when they sold this property. So I can call Sam and say, hey, are your clients that sold that property looking for any more fix and flips in the area, and possibly just sell that deal straight to them. Accessory dwelling unit. Thank you, Jonah. We appreciate it. So Tamika says, just got in Zoom, had some issues. So get under contract first. And if so, where to and or how to submit offer. So it does, again, if you guys want to submit leads, they don't have to be under contract. They can just be leads. You can just have had one conversation with the agent, identified their motivation, price, condition, timeline, all that good stuff. And if you think it's a good lead and you're not sure what the next step is, you can submit that to us and we'll help you from there. So that's just one area of how to find properties on Privy, on market, and then also how to comp them. Jake's going to show you guys how to look at a cash offer.
Hey guys, let me get my screen shared and I'll jump right in it for you. Perfect. All right, guys, so let's get into it. So I know Dylan was kind of showing you guys the basics on how to use Privy. I'm a little bit different when I use my criteria and what I do to identify a cash deal. And we'll jump straight into it. First, I identify a market. What is a deal, right, guys? First things first is when you guys identify a market, the best way to do it is to be about 45 minutes from home base. So if you guys are in Denver, Colorado, like me, I do from where I live, 45 minutes around. That's going to get you guys the ability to know how to identify these deals. So I'm going to go right into Privy when I'm looking for cash deals. There's multiple different types of way to get cash deals. You could be direct to seller, direct to agent. I love having a network of agents. So I use Privy a lot. First things first is I pick the county I want to be in. For example, today we'll use Denver County. And if you guys were in virtual office, this will be a lot similar to what you guys heard earlier. But I'm going right away, putting my county in, and I'm going to filter. And I do this a little bit different than how Dylan explained it. For cash deals, what I'm looking for is on Privy filters, I'm looking for MLS deals, and I'm looking for fix and flip, and I'm looking for 70%, 75% right here. And I'm only doing show Privy preferred results only. What this means is these are all Privy verified leads. That means there's a Privy agent that either has Privy or they're in some sort of space where their name is in the database of Privy. Those are the leads that I go for first. When I pull this list, it's going to give me everything that is 75% of market value of how it sits right now. You guys still have to underwrite these deals, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But how you guys identify this is by really knowing distress factors, because I get sent a lot of deals that, you know, like Dylan was saying, if it's too nice, I don't want to put my cash in it. Cash is very expensive to spend. If it's nice, you know, you want to get a 3% loan on it. There, the value is in that, right? I don't want to go put up 600,000 on a house that's completely finished. I get no sweat equity. My money doesn't work for me. It's just too expensive to put all that cash up on a brand new house. So when I'm going through and I have my list, I only pulled 30 properties. And your list should be small. You shouldn't be pulling 100 properties at once. 30 properties is about the average, because those are how many cash deals are really on market in that area. First, right off the bat, Dakota. I'm looking at this. This is a good lead, right? This has been on market 0 days. I can tell right off the bat, this home is outdated. It's 900,000 as it sits. That means the area, the comps are really good for a renovated house. Second, I'm noticing, okay, like it's you know, 80s theme. The kitchen is 80s theme. There's so much potential to make this a good cash flip. So first, I identified something that is distressed. Second, I'm going and comping it right off the bat to even see if it's a deal. This one, first rule of thumb for me in cash, if it doesn't have more than 3 comps right off the bat, I don't look at it. It's not a deal for me. So this one we're just going to skip. East 47th Avenue. Let's go through here, see what it is. So this one needs some work as well. Super distressed, outdated. I always look at the kitchens. What does it look like? This one could be fully renoed. So comparables right off the bat. This one, it has comps, active comps. And first things first is my flip comp, right? Like Dylan was showing you guys, we see this investor comp is super important. It also has 3 additional comps. As long as this property has more than 3 comps, it's going to be good to wholesale because it's going to be easy for you guys to wholesale. You're going to be able to find a buyer. I'm going to go in, I'm going to look at what my investment comp is like and what kind of finishes did they put in this house. So I know from the property that I identified that it's 1,600 square foot right off the bat. And I'm looking at the one that they flipped. That's only 1,400 square foot. So I'm already winning in square footage right there. This one's pending under contract. So I don't know what the final purchase price is, if they, gave concessions and so on. But from what we can tell, it was listed for 610. And we'll go through the before and afters. This property is really, really, really rough. And like Dylan was saying, when you see those properties that were, looks like a potato took the pictures, those are good, promising comps. So I'm going to take this, and I always give myself a safety net with my ARV. 610 finishes are beautiful. They probably put $120,000 to $150,000 in this house. So I know right off the bat, I got to be competitive around the numbers that they paid for this. So, simple calculations for you guys. I pay 80%. Now, this really depends on your market. I'm in Denver, super competitive. It's about identifying a good ratio of buyers and sellers, right? You want a 1-to-1 ratio. Denver is not a 1-to-1 ratio. There's more buyers than there is sellers. Now, that creates a very competitive market where your offer could get beat out in the matter of seconds. So really finding that and identifying a market where you can be safe. I like Denver because I know the market. So I'm going to take this number, this 610, and I'm going to give myself a safety net. So I know we have 200 more square foot than this comp. We need to perform these finishes in order to get anywhere near this number. So we got to take that in account for renovating and getting the correct finishes to get towards this number. So I'm going to lowball this one a little bit. I'm actually going to set the ARV at 595. So a little more than 10,000 difference. And I'm just giving myself a $10,000 safety number. From there, I'm timesing it, but what I know my investor will pay. Now, this is very case specific. In Denver, I'm able to pay 80%, which is really high compared to other markets. For example, if I'm in Texas, I'm probably paying 75, anywhere from 65 to 75% of ARV. Denver, I'm 80% because I know my buyers very well. So I'm taking my ARV, which is 595. And right away, you guys do this with me, pull your calculators out. I'm taking that 595 number. I'm timesing that by my ARV percentage that my buyers can pay. So they want 80%. So I'm doing 595 times 80%. And I get 476,000 right off the bat. Now, keep in mind, this isn't factoring for the reno I have to do and what I needed at to make my money too. This is just, okay, there's 20% of the deal. I'm not factoring renovation. Leaving my buyer 20% right off the bat. Now, I know in order to get to these finishes on this large of a square foot house, I'm going to write down the number that I just got, which is 476,000. From there, take my renovation estimate, and our house that we're trying to, fix and flip is 1,600 square foot. So I'm going to take that 1,600 number and I'm going to times it. My bad, guys. I'm going to take that 1,600 square foot number and I'm going to times it by a renovation table that we have. Now, if it's lipstick on the pig, it's going to be around $35 a square foot. Now, this all varies depending on what area you are. We're in Denver, so prices are expensive. Lipstick here costs about $40 to $45, depending on the finishes and area you're in. So I know this house is a lot more than lipstick. I got to knock a couple walls. I got to do things in and out. So I'm actually going to account for $55 a square foot. So I'm going to take my square footage and I'm going to times it by 55 based on the percentages. 1,600 times 55. Now you got to gauge this really good. To do a 1,600 square foot house for only 80,000, it doesn't sound right with what the finish is that we need. So I got to get a little bit creative. So maybe I up my, renovation cost to 65 a square foot times 1,600, and I'm getting about 104. Now for me, for those finishes, that seems more accurate. So I'm really doing it case specific on what do I need to do in this area to get it towards this sold number. So then we're going to take the number that we wrote down, which is that 476,000, and we're going to minus our renovation estimate, which is going to be that $104,000. Now we're at a number in the threes. We're at 372, but I haven't paid myself yet, guys. So the important thing is that you guys also minus your fee out. Now, if you guys are beginners, I say this, don't think you're going to win and cash a huge score, because these markets are competitive. Don't take out $30,000 as a fee. If you guys are beginning and you guys are learning how to do these deals, give yourself $5,000. So I minus another 5,000 off that purchase price. This is my MOA. Now I'm at a 367 MOA. My MOA is my max allowable offer. Within that, I don't like to give them my final and my best. I work the numbers. If my MOA or MAO comes back at 367, I don't want to start at 367. I know some people approach it, give them your highest and your best. I like to give a little leeway so they can counter me. So I'm actually going to start this at 340. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to call the agent up and I'm going to say, hey, how's it going? My name is Jake. I'm just calling about a listing you have on East 47th Ave. Why is it sitting on the market? Have you got any offers? And this is all case specific. Now, I'm not going to approach it if it's been sitting on the market 4 days like this lead. How I'm going to approach this is, hey, how's it going? I'm just calling about a listing you have on East 47th Ave. I'm interested in putting a cash offer. I just want to let you know I do fix and flips in the area. Cash is tricky because some people don't like wholesalers. It's just what it is. In Denver, it's hit or miss. What I do is I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission, right? And this is a tactic that you guys can use. Don't think it works on every deal, because it doesn't. But a tactic that I might take is I'm going to call them up. Hey, I'm a fix and flipper in the area. I'd love to put in a cash offer. I just want to let you know that my offer has a 3 in front of it. Is that something your seller would even entertain? It's in the high threes, will they even entertain that? And that's your baseline. Now, if they're like, no, they won't even take that. An agent's obligation is to present your offer. So get the offer in anyways, because they need to see, hey, the leeway with cash is I can close fast. I take it as is. I'm going to waive inspections. And this is all case specific, right? How I use a big negotiating factor is I'll close fast, right? I'm not going to assign it to nobody, and so on. Now, in order to do that, you also need to leave enough spread to not make the contract assignable, but to double close it. So there's different methods of how to close cash that you guys need to be informed on. There's assignment contracts and there's double closings. I only recommend double closings if you have a great network of buyers that you work hand on hand with, that you can just get the deal over to. But really identifying a cash deal is the stress factors. I don't want you guys sending me houses that are finished that need a cash offer. Like if you guys send me a renovated house, if it has granite countertops, if it has brand new appliances, if it has a nice roof, I'm going to disqualify your guys' leads right away. If you guys send me something with a hole in it, an explosion, half the house blew up, poop all over the walls, however you guys want to put it, that is a lead to me in the cash business because it's distressed. And when you see those messed up houses with half the house blown up or shit all over the walls, for reference, there's money there. That's what money looks like to an investor and to a real fix and flipper. Now, cash offers for buy and holds is completely different, guys. It's a completely different ballgame. They still want 80% of market value. They might want it turnkey, but nobody wants to go and put a tenant in with brand new appliances, granite countertops, beautiful floors. They don't want to put a tenant in a homestead property, right? They want to do it in something that, makes them money and cash flows. So keep that in mind, guys. If you guys send a lead in that you want a cash offer on and it doesn't have any distress indicators, if it doesn't, if it's too nice, it's just going to get disqualified and kicked out right away. Send me the leads that have broken windows, boarded up, things that look scary to you guys, but things that, make me smile. So don't be too scared if you're like, who would ever buy that? I would buy that. Those are the type of deals that my buyers buy. So keep in mind, the ARV percentage is case by case. Colorado, I'm at 80%. California, I'm at 80%. Texas, I'm about 65, 70. But use that calculation. It's going to be ARV minus my percentage, right? And you'll get these from your buyers. So call around to your buyers. Hey, what percentage of ARV do you buy? All buyers are usually 80 or 60 to 80% minus renovation, minus your fee. So always factor in. Now, I'm going to answer a couple questions that you guys put in the chat. First one being Mike M. Wholesaling, if you're looking on market properties, how do you deal with buyers? They just seem to want direct to seller due to additional cost of working with agents. If you have a buyer who won't look at an on-market deal because it's on market and they're scared of agents, they are not a buyer. They are not a true buyer. Real buyers will look at any deal. You just got to make the numbers work. If your numbers don't work, they're going to kick it out, right? But any buyer who tells you that, they're not a real buyer. And that's my opinion on it. Everybody has their own opinion on it, but they're not really moving houses like they say. Jamie, we do filter by ARV. That's in that privy search. We just want to be in somewhere around that 75% of comps, but we're going to go ahead and underwrite it and then do our numbers off a cash deal like that. I'll jump in. Let's see. You can find the flippers using the property under purchase history, Zay Morales. Great example, guys. We're going to take in just a real quick, I don't know, let me see my screen update to a Zillow. So here's a great example on a cash deal and how to find a cash buyer. I've been working on this lead. This is still on market, guys. Agent just pulled it for, unknown reasons, but 555 South Meade Street, Denver, Colorado. I'm going to go ahead. I already know based off the pictures that this is a great fix and flip. Like this makes me smile, right? So I'm going to take this address. I'm going to drop it right in privy. And I know for a fact in this specific area, there's going to be investor comps right off the bat. So I go to comparables and right off the bat, I have 12 investor comps. Now, who I'm looking for on this list is very particular. Now, you guys might see 12 investors. I only see one investor on this list, right? And it's going to be this guy who bought this for $240,000 and sold it for $475,000. This is my friend, and this is who I want to build the relationship with, right? That's how I identify it. He bought it for $240,000, sold it for $475,000. I'm going to go to the public records on Privy, and this is how I find my cash buyer. I'm going to go to property history. I'm going to look at who bought it. So I can see there is a wholesaler involved in this, right? And they actually wholesaled this property. So a company called Equity Hunter LLC, big buyer in Colorado, wholesaled this property to Creative Homes Colorado for $239,000. So there's a wholesale record. I want to network with this wholesaler first off, because he's doing deals. Second of all, I want to know the actual buyer, Creative Homes Colorado. I know they're buying fix and flips. This is my buyer right here, Creative Homes Colorado. How I'm going to go and actually pull their data. I'm going to go to your state, Secretary of State, and we'll do Secretary of State, Colorado. Let's see. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to do business trademarks and trade names, search business database, and I'm going to go ahead and put that directly in there. Right here, let's see. We're going to use name change, effective, good standing. You want to find the one that's good standing DLLC. I'm going to click right off the bat here. James H. Langley. Now, their registered agent is usually the owner of the business. Go ahead, take this, put it in your skip tracer, put it in any software you have to try to find that person, True People Search, whatever you guys have. That's your buyer right there. So now reverse engineering it, find your buyer first, and then go look at the deals of the areas they buy. There's all kinds of different ways of approaching it. But that's how you find your cash buyers, your fix and flips. Check to see if they're in good standing. Not really, Alex. I know a lot of guys get busy and don't file, their good standing sometimes. It depends. I wouldn't really check if they're in good standing, just know that they can perform. Big thing for me as a wholesaler, I'm only working with people I know do deals. I don't want a buyer who does 1 deal a year. I want a buyer who does 8 deals a month. So, big thing on that. Also know, if the seller agrees to the cash offers, etc., we may not have a solid list of buyers initially. In this case, what kind of clause would you select to allow enough time for a buyer to inspect it or the property, if necessary, back out of the agreement if we can't find a cash buyer? Simple as this. If your property doesn't sell within the first 10 days of you having it, as a wholesaler, if you post it and it's in a good area and you think that you can't sell it, it's not a good deal. Just usually good deals go in 10 days. So I wouldn't really worry about that. Mike again asked, how do you get the offer in? Just a verbal to the agent or LOI? Never a verbal, because they don't have to present those. I don't know how it works, but I know in Colorado, they don't like presenting verbals. Send the LOI, make sure they have something in their email, because if they don't present that, that's when they get in trouble. But a verbal, that can get confusing. There's no paper trail of it. Send the LOI in, send a cash flow LOI. Like Dylan said, cash first, creative last. Cash are the easiest deals. They're easy to underwrite, and cash buyers are really chill people. Some of them are, a little hard to deal with, but it's not like a creative buyer, worrying about balloons and this and so many other factors. So yeah, I'm going to have Joey jump into, creative and how to identify that, but use that general underwriting tool of ARV minus the percentage, or times the percentage, minus your rental, minus your fee. You guys got to pay yourself. Make sure to put that fee in there, because your buyer's not accounting for that. If you say, hey, I got a property for $150,000, but I need 160 for it. Don't tell your buyer that. You should have factored that into your purchase price. So, that's just being a good wholesaler and really knowing how to do a cash deal.
Sweet. Thank you, Jake. All right. Who's confused? Put a 1 in the chat if your brain is mangled. 0.5, Darren says. 1, Aaron. That's good. It's a good thing to be confused. It means you're learning something. 1 close. Angie's 1, Audrey's close. Well, sweet. Well, that's why you keep coming to these Zooms, guys, because this is all we do. We just underwrite, we call sellers, we explain how to wholesale, how to buy properties, how to sell them, how to make sure a deal is a deal. Linda's feeling good. Well, awesome. Well, there's not that many people confused. I was thinking there would be more. Well, that's a good thing. Looks like you guys are all almost experts. Um, But I'm about to mangle your brain even more because so Jake's our cash guy. Me and Dill are more of the creative. Um, before I get into creative, does anybody have any burning questions I could take like the next 5 minutes to answer anybody's question? If you do, just use that little emoji and you can raise your hand. If not, I will jump right into the crazy stuff. No questions? You guys are all experts? Everyone's doing 20 deals a month? There we go. David, Darren, what's up? All right, I'll start with David. What's up, bro?
How's it going, man? Hey,
Going good, man. How about you?
Good, thank you. Just a quick question. For submitting the LOI, do you use the purchase agreement or do you have a separate form for the LOI?
So if we're submitting the LOI, it's just a blanket letter of intent. What I do is I have a little, our little spiel of words, a little paragraph. I put a seller net sheet, and then I put my letter of intent attached. And then I have my FAQ page. I have my credibility letter. So it's not like a real contract. It's not a binding contract. Um, it's more of a, hey, here's our initial offer. Are you interested? If they're interested, we send the contract. But I like starting with LOIs for creative deals. Cash deals, I like to just shoot over a contract. Let's get it going. It's just so much. It's a much shorter contract. Not as a lot of moving parts. Yeah, does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, that does. And another quick question on the sending out the cash offers on the purchase agreement. When you're using the form that Pace provides, when it says the signatures at the bottom, how do you initial your signatures on that? Can you just type in your initials, or do you have to actually do a wet signature?
I use Doc Hub. It's a free, I mean, you can pay for it, but the free version lets you do like 5 documents a day. Um, I would just use Doc Hub and you can insert your own signature on it.
Got it. Awesome.
Really
Thank
easy.
you. Cool. Thank
Sweet.
you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Darren, what's up, bro?
Hey guys, how's it going? Quick question. So DTA cash offer, very interesting. I've done a few deals before, but I assume there'll be more video trainings on the searching for the property, cash, and all that good stuff. But my question is, does your team provide the LOI paperwork if we're JVing, working together? What sort
Yep.
of stuff do you guys
If
provide, I
you
guess?
JV with us, you get all our credibility. So what'll happen is Dylan showed you, it'll pop up in the CRM. When we send the offer, we put our letter of intent, we put our credibility letter, shows everything we bought recently, um, shows a proof of funds. I put the FAQs, I put my lender's info, everything about us. So if you JV with us, you get all our credibility. And I say, you're my partner. So I'm like, hey, you spoke to my partner, Darren, about 123 Main Street. Here's our offer, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So yes, it comes with all that if you JV with us.
Awesome, cool. And second, as far as assignment fee goes, I don't know if this is the right place for it, but I did get the baby elephant, but prior to that, I did DTS. I just wanted to venture into DTA just because, why not? But for assignment fee, how is that structured? Do you guys do the traditional JV 50/50, or is it referral fee, bird dog fee? How is that broken
It,
down?
it all it all depends, man. There's never a strict answer to that. It all depends. So let's say you brought me a deal and you already negotiated the terms, you got it under contract, you put deposit earnest money, you have escrow open, and we just find a buyer. That could be a 50/50, right? It could be a 60/40 in your way. But let's say you just made a call, right? You called an agent, they were open to a cash offer, they're open to a creative, and you set up a appointment for us and we closed it. Not it as in closed, but like closed the deal, got it under contract, and then we found the buyer, we open escrow, deposit earnest money. Yes, that would be like a bird dog fee. Um, and I mean, I got guys who have brought us, 10 of those in a month. They literally just made a single phone call. So, hey, you want to speak to my partner? They can get into the details of our offer. We close it, they get $1,000. $10,000 making one call on each. You know what I mean? It's just the more you do, the more you get paid. That's the best way to answer it. There's no
Gotcha.
like definitive answer to that.
Sure,
But
sure.
good question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Audrey,
Hi, can you
hello.
get me? Hi.
Yep, I
So,
hear you.
during the elephant challenge, they talked about, well, they used, I guess Laura's calculator. So when Joey is no, not that, you're Joey. Who is the, Jake, I think Jake. He just talked about the after repair value minus the fee, or what is that, the percentage for the buyer, and then the repairs. I didn't hear them talk about all this other stuff that I guess that Laura talked about, where you have the holding fees and the agent fees and all those other things. Do you have to factor all that into your calculations so that you're not locking up deals so high?
It depends on your buyer, and that's why you always want to backtrack, right? You don't want to just go locking up deals and you have no buyers ready. And that's the beauty of JV is we have buyers ready. But if you're doing it on your own, you want to backtrack. You want to have a buyer already who's looking for a specific area, specific property. They have criteria, and you go and find that for them. So then you already know what your calculations have to be. Laura's comping tool is kind of just to help you, a little easy, like surface level way to, find your max allowable offer. But it all depends. That's why I always say find your buyer first, because you're going to want to find what they want. Some of them might buy at 90% ARV and they'll pay you 50K assignment fee. Just all depends.
Would they still be doing repairs on that property, or they're really not? If you're just getting the fee, and I mean, like, they don't have all these other costs that she talked about in essence. Is that what you're saying? I know you're using your own buyer that you've found, but then do they also have those other costs like she was talking about, or they couldn't care less?
Yes, they do. And that's why I said it depends on your buyer, right?
Okay. All right.
Some of them they're going to already calculate their 3-4 month holding cost into whatever they're going to offer you.
Oh,
And that's if they have hard money. But
all
if
right.
a cash with full literal cash, liquid cash, they're not factoring that in. They're just going to factor in obviously taxes and insurance,
All right.
but
Thank you
not a
so much.
big. Yep.
No problem.
Sweet.
Hey, but it also depends on, what you're gonna do with that property. Laura's talking about holding costs and all that, which is the flip, which is that 80%, 60%, 70%. Everybody's gonna have their own different holding costs. Some people, it's their own money that they're using, some it's not. Some have it at 20%, some have it at 10%, some have it at 8, some have it at 12. So it's that knowing your buyer and knowing what percentage they buy at is how you find those deals and how you underwrite it. But yeah, to get more specific, if you were going to buy it, you would need to know, hey, my money is costing me 12% and 2 points and whatever that looks like. So, and I have 4 partners that got to get paid. So that would be more of the buyer's underwriting stuff more than yours to lock it up. But once you get close with buyers like we do, we know how they buy, we just know the percentage they want to buy it at, and then we can go from there. Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Yep, exactly what he said. Let me answer a couple questions. Christian says, is the LOI a different document than the purchase contract? Yes, it will. And you won't send the purchase contract to the agent. Wait, hold on. And you won't send the purchase contract to the agent first. You send an LOI. Yes, for us, we send LOIs first on creative deals. Cash deals, we send contracts right away. But an LOI is different than a contract. It's not binding. So they could sign your LOI, right? We have a spot where they can sign it, but that doesn't mean we're under contract. They have to sign a literal contract to be under contract. If that makes sense. Just trying to answer a couple more questions if I missed any. I don't think I missed any. Does anybody have any more questions before somebody ask one?
There's
Okay.
one more, yeah.
Okay, if we want to take it further than the initial call, we want to use you for dispo, can we get criteria for your buyers so we know what to look for?
I mean, that would be pretty, where is it? Atlanta, Denver, Alaska,
Yeah, that's
all of
really
these. It would be pretty
specific.
hard to do. I would say that if you have a deal like that, then chat with us so we can see what we have in our arsenal to as buyers for that. But I don't think there's just a broad. I mean, we'd have to give you like a huge thing of every buyer that we've ever had and have. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
because
think
my
that would
Denver
be
buyers
possible.
buy this way, my Miami guys buy this way, you know.
Yeah, but the ones we just sent you aren't buying right now for 4 months because we just sold them some property. So there's a different set of buyers. So I don't know how we would do that just all the way around. I would say if you have a deal like that, submit and go over it with us, and then we could find the right buyer for you.
Yep, what he said. Didi says, "Do y'all have buying that want purchase in Louisiana?" Yes, we got buyers everywhere. I'm looking over at my map. Kind of the only place where you don't really want to get into, but still at the same time, we have buyers everywhere. When I say everywhere, literally everywhere, like even Alaska. Um, I wouldn't really touch California unless you have a specific buyer looking for it. I wouldn't touch way East Coast, New York, right, Maine, all those states. Nothing really north, like North Dakota, Minnesota. There's just not much action going there. Go on Privy, see where the action is, right? Just click on any state, any city, and see how many circles are in there. If you click one and there's no activity going on, no investor activity, you probably don't want to touch that market. Doesn't mean there's not deals there. There's deals to be had everywhere. Um, but Louisiana, yes, Didi, we got buyers in Louisiana. That's a good spot.
You know, a lot of we don't just stick to this, but a lot of people like to find uh places to look where there's professional sports teams, like an NFL team, and 40 minutes outside of where that NFL team is, because then there's usually a lot of commerce there. So that's a good rule of thumb, just if you want to use one thing to go by, if you're not looking through Privy and seeing where all the bubbles are, but that's a good rule to live by.
Yep. Let's see a couple new questions. Steven, if I know someone who wants to sell few of their rentals, what would be your fee? Again, that's pretty broad. It depends, man. If you get them under contract, wholesale to us, then you have a fee. If you send it in and be like, "Hey, I want a JV on this,"
Here's what I say to that,
it
Joe.
just depends.
Steven, do you have a deal right now? Let's look at it and let's see what that fee would be. Or is it a hypothetical? That's what Pace does to us. If we call him up, hey Pace, what would this be worth? He's like, well, do you have a deal that we can look at? If not, it's a hypothetical. But if you have one, we'd love to look at it, and then we could really drill down deep. But for us to like just look into a crystal ball, we wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't know unless I saw the deal breakdown. I know the price, all that, but would definitely love to look at those rentals, man. Um, Rachel, if you could put our links in the chat just so they're relevant. People have the DTA, DTS, buyers form, all that stuff, so they could shoot in their JVs. We can get some people paid. Anthony says, I got a fourplex in Nashville, Arkansas, under contract. Would you want a JV? Oh yeah. I think we got a buyer for that right now, Anthony. You should shoot that into the form. 100%.
Hey, Steven, and if it's a good deal, you're gonna get paid well. So I mean, we buy and hold properties as well. So yeah, if the numbers are great, then heck, man, let's look at that deal and get you paid well, brother.
Yep. Cadian West. I already have a prospective buyer here in Indiana. I know her buy box. I looked at a couple properties, but they are owned by an LLC. How do I tackle this? Pretty tough. If you saw what Jake did earlier, he went to the Secretary of State. So whatever state you're in, Indiana Secretary of State, you can do a business lookup on their LLC. And then sometimes, not all the time, if they're good property owners, you're not going to find their name. That's going to be really tough because they'll have their attorney or trustee or somebody sign for them. So you can't trace anything back to them. But if they're just kind of um, buying one, two, whatever, three deals a year, a lot of times they're not going to have that much anonymity and they're going to have their name right on the LLC. So you could find them on Indiana Secretary of State. Go to business lookup and you could find who owns that and go to True People Search or hit us up and we can find anybody on the planet. We got private investigators on call.
That's the truth. I just met a new one, so we got an additional.
Sean, I got a deal in Grand Junction. Nice. Can we look at it? Yeah, we can look at it, man. Shoot it in. I don't want to take everybody's time on this one. We could do it. We can honestly, you shoot it into the JV form. I'll look at it. I'll give you a call, and then we can do it live on Friday's Zoom for everybody to see us deep dive it. If everybody wants to see that, put a one in the chat. You want to see us deep dive Sean's deal in Grand Junction? We could do that. And Rachel just put all the links. You got to go to, if you go to the Discord, you'll find it in links. DTA is direct to agent. So if you got a direct to agent lead, shoot it in there. DTS, you got a direct to seller lead, shoot it there. If you got a dispo, something you want us to dispo, use that dispo form link, and let's JV. Let's JV. Our goal, what was our goal? I think we want to do a deal with 100 baby elephants. So this term we did, I don't know how many we did last time. I would say like 40 on the last elephant challenge. So we're trying to pretty much more than double it. So let's do it. Who's gonna be the first one?
I want
Who's
to
gonna
add
be?
something, Joey.
Yeah.
I just want to let everybody know your leads are safe, your deals are safe. We never want to go around you. We're not trying to screw anybody out of anything. All that we look at is that the deal is equitable for everybody involved. And that includes the seller and the buyer, because we don't want a reputation of locking up deals and selling this pie in the sky to your buyer. And it's really not a good deal. And they're not going to make any money. Who wants to do that? That's not what we're here for. So all your deals are safe and all your deals will be equitable. It's as much as you put in as much as you get out. I would say this though, don't try to do something on your own if you're not real sure, because you want that extra money, because then you lose the deal, possibly, most likely. I've lost a lot of deals not partnering with people because I had that stubborn head of, I can do it myself. I'm already a real estate agent. I know this. And I lost a lot of freaking deals and not only made zero money, lost money, where if I would have just partnered up, I would have learned it that much quicker and made money along the way. So it's always going to be equitable. Fair enough. That way it's fair for everybody. But we'll never take your deals, man. Sub 2 is about honor, integrity, respect, honesty, all of that stuff. So if you do have that in the brain, we're probably not the right fit. If you're scared that somebody's going to do, we're probably not the right fit, because we're open and honest, and we don't want our relationships to start off on the bad foot. So with that being said, your deals are safe with us. I can assure you, promise you that. We never want to take anybody's deal because we want more. We want to keep doing it. We want you guys to come into the group, maybe into our team. Who knows? We lifelong friends. Why would we want to ruin that and ruin that relationship? So you're always safe with us, guys. I just wanted to add that, Joe.
Yep. Yeah, and add on that, guys, we do this for you. The JV's for you guys, to help you guys get your first deal, get your 10th deal, to know how a deal goes from A to Z. Right? We're all our acquisition managers and us, we're crazy busy with our own leads. That's why we're doing this to help you guys, right? Pace has put on the initiative to us that we have to give back, right? And we want to give back. And that's why we're doing this. I wish when me and Dylan, Dom, and Angie, Jake all started at the beginning, I wish there was something like this where I could just shoot in a lead and get paid for it and see how the deal closed, see how you guys locked it up. Oh my God, that would have saved me a whole year. It literally would have saved me a whole year.
We needed to make relationships and then foster that relationship and then call everybody in sub 2 that we met from a group or something that we were doing, but you couldn't tell who knew what they didn't know. So it was like all over the place. And now those people that everybody was reaching out to, they're your leaders. They're the ones doing the elephant challenge. So it was very difficult in the beginning. So this is a bonus and a blessing that Pace is putting these on. So we appreciate that. Good job, Joe, on that.
Yeah, yeah. And just to put it in perspective, when we joined Sub 2, there was like, I think 400 students. There's 13,000 now. So when we joined, there wasn't as much community as there is now. It was harder. There was people doing their own things in it. There wasn't like elephant challenges. Pace was just getting this kicked off. But now there's so many people to go to that it just makes it all the more easy to close deals. I'm still answering questions. Mike M, can you talk about a workflow that don't have a CRM? Dude, I'd use Podio. It's free and it's a good base CRM, and you don't want to have to spend any money. It just basically holds your leads. That's it. You can't do any automations unless you pay. But for a free CRM, I'd say Podio is awesome. Or just like Rachel said, use Google Sheets. But
Yeah,
I
you
think
can
Podio
use
for
Google
free
Sheets
is
for a
awesome.
lot of things. Google Sheets is very helpful.
Let's see. I think I missed
Family
something.
night's at 6, so we might be losing people here in a little while. People who are gonna make family night, the sub 2 family night. Right, Rach?
Well, I want to know something
Yeah, we need to wrap
before.
up.
Yeah, I just want to know something before I might get into this or not. We'll see who's in here. Who's ever even, who knows what a creative deal looks like? Who knows what a subject to is? I just want to know who's here. I'll put a 1 in the chat if you know what a subject to is. Okay, so a lot of you, more than I thought. Awesome. Okay, sweet. So then I do want to do this before we jump. I'm going to finish with this last thing. It's kind of what Jake and Dylan were showing you for cash, but here's for creative. And this is how you guys will get your first deal, your 10th deal, whatever is what JV with us. Let me show you something that I swear I should be charging $500,000 for it, but I'm not. Let me share my screen. If it will let me, you got to enable me to share my screen. Oh, here we go. There we go. All right. If you don't have PropStream, this is it's okay. I'm just kind of showing you how I find my deals, my bread and butter. This is what you want to look for in a subject too. So if you send in a deal, hey, they were open to creative, and then you shoot it to me and they had 400 grand of equity, I'm gonna be like, hey, go back and watch the Zoom that we just had on the 30th. But watch what I'm gonna show you right here, and I swear to God, this will make you your first $1 million. Okay. I already have it saved. All right, sorry. I do this one. Everyone can see my screen, right? You can see PropStream. Okay, cool. All right, here is my filter. I'm gonna leave it there for literally like 20 seconds. Take a screenshot or miss out forever. This right here has made us a lot of money. This is awesome. This is what I want you guys calling. If you know how to pitch subject to on a low level, you don't have to get into all the objections, right? You don't have to, how do I get overdue on sale? You could refer that to us. That's why we JV. But actually, my partner Joey, he's the one who can deep dive this for you. I'm just the lucky one who gets to call you beautiful agents all day. Whatever your line has to be, pawn it off on somebody else if you can't answer the question. Say, oh yeah, no, actually, my partner, he knows the answer to that. You know, my TC can get that, my attorney, whatever you want to say. So you don't have to be able to pitch subject to on the same level that you saw me doing on the elephant challenge the other day when I was calling that agent. You don't have to be that intricate yet. But you see that this filter right here, I mean, this is just it's just money. So watch, I'm gonna go to a city, San Antonio, Texas. We're using my filter that you guys just saw. Look at that, 75 properties that are potential subject to. Now, I will tell you, you're going to have a lot of competition. The agent's probably going to tell you, dude, you're the 100th guy to tell me this. But that's why I just try to get to an offer. And usually when they talk to us, every deal I have closed in the past, I don't know, 9, 10 months, the agent was either against subject to, they've heard it 100 times, or they said it was illegal, or they said this won't work for my seller. But because we've failed hundreds and hundreds of times, we know how to get over every single objection. And so that's why, hey, JV with us, man, we'll close it. Unless it's like the only time a subject to is not going to work, too much equity, no motivation, or a veteran needs their entitlement, right? And an entitlement is what a veteran gets to get 0 down on a property. But other than that, when they got low equity, here, let's look at this with Stetson Park. This is just what I wanted to show you guys first before you go hammering these calls. I look at this, the price. They owe 265 and they owe 220. Or sorry, they're listed for 265, they owe around 220. Off the bat, these little lower prices ones, it's kind of hard to defer, but let me just show you anyway. Take this number now. You might want to write this down. Take this number, their MLS price, times it by 0.9. So I'm gonna take, I have my calculator in my hand, 265, 123 times 0.9. That gives me, okay, we'll show you on my screen, probably not, 238, 500. I take that number and I minus it by their estimated balance. And whatever that number is, if there's a discrepancy of 5 to 12% of the purchase price. So let's say, this number it just gave me was 220, 123, 18.5. I already know this is probably going to be a good subject too. They're only going to make 18 grand if they get their purchase price. And that's if, and they're probably listed too high, which most people are. So they're only going to make 18 grand. So a buyer like us, we're going to come in and offer them more, right? We're going to beat their offer. And that's how you find a bread and butter subject too. Now, let me show you a bad one. And this is why some people send these in. They're like, why didn't you get to my deal yet? Well, let me show you. Look at here. Here's one right here. They're listed for 494. So I'm going to take that same calculation I told you. And let me explain the 0.9. In America, it costs 8 to 11% to sell your house on market. So I'm just finding the middle 10%. So I'm taking 10% away from their purchase price. They got to pay 6 to agents most of the time, another 4% in closing costs / they're going to beat them up on inspections, or there's a rate buy down that a seller's given I forget the word, but they're given 10K towards concessions. That's the word. So I round it out to 10%. It's going to cost you 10% to sell that house. That's where that 0.9 comes from. So let me get back to, let me show you. 494, 900, 494, 900 times 0.9 equals 445. And they owe 368. I can already tell you that's too much equity. Don't waste your time calling this property. I know PropStream said it was a good one with the filter. They're not always right. And that's why I wanted to show you guys this. You want to call this one, not this one. See what I'm saying? Now I don't want to go too deep into that, but that right there, what I just showed you, is money.
I want to add something to that, Joe. So if you guys do run the filter and you find the opportunity and you're not comfortable, with the sub 2 and pitching that, it's okay to tell them that you're not the person that does that your partner, your team does that. You call everybody all day long and you got your hands full doing that, and your partner does the sub 2 stuff. So don't throw up on them and lose the deal, because what happens is we love it when they've had 5 sub 2 calls already, because a lot of them have thrown up on them, and then we call them and we have all the right answers and we have all the right backup and we have all the right flow. So they've already heard it a few times. Now they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Rather than us being the first one, even though we have all the right answers, all the right flows, they haven't heard it so many times. So they're not really keen on it. So it's great when somebody's thrown up on potential sellers and then we come in and scoop it up. So don't do that. We'll role play with you. Maybe we'll do some role playing or whatever down the road to help you do that. But don't throw up on the customers like that.
Yeah. Like I was saying, pawn it off to somebody else. Be like, I like that line. This is what I have a lot of my new callers do. I actually can't answer that for you. I'm just a lucky guy who gets to call you awesome agents all day. My partner Joey, my partner Dylan, Dominic, whatever you want to say, can answer those questions for you. You should use that line if you can't answer something. Don't try to make it up or Google something on the screen real quick. Just pawn it off to somebody else. Tell them the truth. Just be like, hey, I'm just the caller right now. I'm just trying to set an appointment for my you call it the guy who writes the checks. You could say that. My guy, he writes the checks. He can actually answer all these for you in deep dive.
There's a question here, Joey. Jamie has. Do we do hybrid deals for those that have some equity? Yes, we do. But
Yes.
typically, those are great, actually, if you have a good buyer with a good down payment. I know here in Colorado, that takes about 80 to 100K for that type of buyer or that type of sell. But yeah, we do hybrids all the time. They're great. They're just a different type of buyer, and it's not the whole, get into it for 10% on the sub 2 deal, which is what we sell to most of our buyers. It's usually a lot more than 10% on hybrid deals, but yes, they are possible, and we do have buyers for those. Those are usually homestead buyers, not investors.
Yeah, and I wouldn't go searching for hybrids. Hybrids work when they've been on market for 140 days and they just have just enough equity where you can't put all that down on a sub 2. but you could put a good amount down and have them carry the rest. But I would not go searching for them. They're hard. Um, they just I'd rather them come to you than you go chasing them. But I mean they happen. We have a deal. I'm gonna look at my map. I think it was in Pueblo or Colorado Springs. We put, I don't know, 10, 20K down, and they're carrying us almost 100 grand. Right? So they do happen. They can happen, but we weren't searching for that. I can tell you that.
Only if you have a
just can't
buyer
waste
that
your
says that they want that. So like we get buyers that say, I want to buy my homestead house. I have 100 grand, I have 200 grand, but I want to buy a cheap, a cheap rate and I want it in this area. We have buyers like that. So when we have those, we'll search for those, but they're pretty difficult to do. I mean, sometimes it'll take a year to find the right house in the right area for the right price at the right time with the right person that wants to sell it. So they're just a lot harder.
Sweet. Well, I'm gonna answer these 3 questions and then we can cut it off.
Joey, someone
Derek,
has
what's up,
a
man?
hybrid deal for us, Mill Pond Photography.
I have
Well,
a
he says,
hybrid
I have
deal
a hybrid
with,
deal I would love help with.
Mill Pond. Shoot it in the put it in the form, brother. Put it in the form.
Can you, Rachel, can you give us the form again?
Rachel put all the links earlier.
Yeah,
They're in the
Okay.
Discord and the Facebook, brother. There you
Dylan
go.
just did it.
Dylan did it again. Save those links, guys. Those are the JV ones. Darren, what's up, bro? Did you have a question? I know you asked one earlier, but you just forget to lower your
Yeah,
hand.
yeah.
Or you got
So,
another-
yes. So I'm doing my pitch, right? They don't want to do cash. They are open to a creative option. I got the statement. Let's just say the interest rate is 7-9%. Are there any like quick roadblocks that we should be aware of just to be like, this ain't a deal and just move on to the next one?
You brought something up for me, and what I forgot to mention. Well, it was just kind of on there. If you look at my screen's not shared anymore, but if you see my filter, it's 4.5% or less.
Oh, I gotcha.
Unless
Cool,
you
cool.
have a buyer, a homestead buyer ready who can afford that payment, and you have a wrap buyer ready for that, do not lock up something over 5%. You will have a really tough time selling it.
Gotcha.
Investor buyers don't want anything really over 4.5.
No.
Unless you
So,
have a wrap buyer ready to go, shoot, yeah. And he's like, dude, I can afford 4 grand a month. I can put 80K down. Sweet. Then you can expand your search and you can find 7%ers because they can afford it. But
okay.
trying to wholesale that to an investor, good luck.
Right.
It won't happen.
So this might be a broad question, but within that boundary of 2 to 5% or below 4.5, is it still pretty high in volume, you would say?
Say that again.
So within that 4.5 or less interest rate, right? As far as it being the volume of people that still hold those interest rate, is that still high as far as people being
Oh yeah.
open to
Oh
creative
yeah.
options?
I saw some stat, it was like 80 or 90% of rates in America, mortgage rates are all fixed. So, in the last few years, they've all been under 5%. So
Perfect.
there's a lot of them out there.
Thank you.
Yep. Linda, what's up?
Hey, new to Sub 2, and I have PropStream. Would love to dig up some hot leads for you guys. What would be my initial conversation with the seller or the agent? What would be your advice to talk just to get the appointment set with you guys?
Depends. Are you going to be calling agents? It's going to be a different call. If you're calling expired listing sellers, those are the best ones. It's hard to cold call sellers who were not expired listing and you're just asking them if they want to sell. They just have low equity. You're gonna want to hire a VA for that. You're gonna find yourself making hundreds of calls, and out of 300, one of them told you, yeah, maybe I'll sell in a year. Um, I would advise going to on market with that. That's the filter I just showed you. On the next Zoom, I'll show you guys my expired listing filter. Pretty much the
So
same thing. So if
the filter you just showed us is on market.
is on market, correct?
Okay.
So your pitch is different with agents, right? What I love to do to agents, I like to stroke their ego. I don't want to make them feel dumb. I want to make them feel like they're awesome. If you guys saw my call on the last Elephant Challenge Zoom, like, hey, whatever their name is, I see you guys are getting deals left and right up in, Denver County. You guys are doing awesome. I see you have like 15 different listings. I've probably talked to like 3 of your other co-listers. You guys are awesome. I want to do a deal with you, right? Or, hey,
Mhm.
Linda, I heard you're the agent to work with, right? I heard you're getting things done, right? Make them feel special. Agents love that. If you call and talk to them and educate them too much and try to feel like let them know you're smarter than them and a subject to only work, that you will find no success in that. It will just piss them off and they won't want to talk to you. But yeah, your pitch to agents is you just fill them out right. Don't come off the bat with your subject to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends. Because you'll get an agent be like, "Are you subject to?" That'll be the first thing they'll ask you. And then other ones will be a bubbly agent, tell you about there's an awesome backsplash. There's right? There's those agents, and you want to just keep the convo going. Just keep talking to them, right? PTP, talk to people. Just keep them on the phone. Keep going, build rapport. But when you're pitching subject to agents, you kind of you identify, you let them know, hey, and this is what I always use. It looks like I use this verbatim. It looks like if you guys sold right now at your price, they're gonna break even or maybe walk away with a couple $1,000. And if you're right, because using my filter, you're most likely going to be right. They'll say,
Mhm.
yeah, they're looking to break even. They just want to be done. Boom. Then I come in.
Mhm.
Well, I got a way I can actually put 5 to 15K in their pocket. I'll pay your commission. I'll pay closing costs. It's just a little creative how we do it. Then start getting into your pitch.
Okay.
But don't just be like, hey, I
Right.
want to give a subject to offer.
Right.
Then they're like, if they don't know, they're like, what are you talking about? What?
Okay.
I let them, I ask and I confirm that they got no equity, right? You want to
Okay.
confirm that.
Gotcha. And
Sellers,
if I
pretty
do,
much
if
the
I
same
do
thing.
get, sorry, if I do get a lead your way, can I be a voyeur on that call with you to hear what
Oh,
you
of
say?
course. Oh,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay.
You guys will be CC'd on any documents with title company. We open escrow. You'll be on the call on the close to listen to the close, everything.
Okay.
Um,
I just want to hear all the answers. Once I have the answers, I'm sure I'll be off to the races. But right now I'm
uh-huh.
just so green. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but zero real estate. So I just want to learn.
Yeah, no, good question. Yep, you will be able to hear everything.
Cool. Awesome.
Linda, you know what
Sweet.
else you can do is congratulate them on the listing. Like, good job. I know how hard it is to get a listing these days, and congratulate them on answering the phone. Thank you for answering your phone. Well, just don't kiss their butt, but be pleasant and give them the credit, because as being an agent, everybody gets down on them. It's freaking hard to get listings and good listings, and they beat you up over your commission, and they could fire you at any time, and they run you ragged. So put yourself in their shoes and have some empathy for them, and that usually works well for me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sweet. Sweet. What's up, Guy? Last one, we're gonna end on Guy. Guy, he's my man. He's been kind of an OG in here. He comes to all our Zooms.
OG for this challenge anyway. So first of all, real quick, shout out Dom and Angie. I'm looking forward to joining you at Pace's Ranch in May. I was very
Heck
excited.
yeah.
Almost fell off my chair when they called my name. But anyway, looking forward to
Me
that.
too.
Yeah, it was amazing. So my question is kind of like what Linda said. I've taken a lot of training and watched some videos as far as with the context of us handing off the deal to you. The main thing that you want us to do, is there sort of a script or a video you can direct us to give us, and I know it's different depending if you're talking to an agent or a seller, and I know you want to kind of pat the butts a little bit and you want to start with the cash, but to transition it so we don't get locked in and blow the deal for you guys, what's a good transitory statement, or is there a general script
Yeah,
or something that you could
yeah.
lay out for
I
us?
don't like scripts. Scripts
I
kind
don't
of get
either,
you in
but
trouble.
like a guideline.
We have little guidelines, yeah, and we'll send you that. It should all be in the Discord and the Facebook. But anyways, when you're gonna pass something off to set up an appointment, right? Just pitch it on a low level. They start asking questions, be like, actually, I'd love to get you on the phone with my partner, Joey. When is a good time for them to call you back? They'll
Okay,
also shoot you an offer.
and
Just
so
say
what
something like that.
would we introduce ourselves as just the caller, or we wait till that comes up in conversation?
only if it comes up, if you have to spit it out.
Okay, so we're
Yeah, you don't
we're
just say,
fat
hey, I'm the
gathering.
caller for real estate problem solvers. You just say, hey, I'm Guy. Um, whatever your pitch is, everybody's got their own pitch. You don't want to be the same as everyone because these agents hear a lot of the same scripts, right?
Right.
You
But we
wanna
don't want
stick-
to, we're not trying to make an offer. We're just seeing if they're open to
if they're even open to it. Yep, exactly.
to a sub two only or to just some sort of cash deal
An-
that fits the-
anything, right? And that's why I was showing this filter. This is good for sub two offers. Dylan and Jake were showing that's good for cash offers, right? Speed up,
Right.
run down. I can give a lower offer and have room to flip it.
So
That's
we're-
good for cash.
We're
These
not
are good. Low equity is good for sub two.
we're not asking for price then. That's what I'm trying to figure is how to not ask for price, but to get it to your corner without asking for price. What's
Yeah. So
how
just
does that-
just get the pitch, fill it out. If you're calling, you know it's a cash deal.
Mhm.
Just fill them out. Ask what the condition is. Ask them, hey, I'm not too familiar with this area. What do you think if I, renovated this and sold it? What could I make on this? Like, what could I sell for? Just ask questions and then get to my company would love to give you an offer. I'm not the guy who makes the offers. I'm the lucky one who makes the calls, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, that's
Get
what
into
I'm
that
looking for right there. Okay.
right there.
That's
Yep.
kind of the magic sauce I was looking for. Because I don't want to overstep and blow it, but
Yeah.
I want to get that just right. So, I don't cross the line and get it to you guys' hands so you can finish off. So, okay, that helps. Thank you.
Finding their motivation is the mainly what you want to find, right? Why are
That's
they
our
selling?
job, basically, right? Is to find
That's
the
basically
motivation.
that's what you want, right?
And that way
it's a
we know it's a
person,
yay
blah,
or
blah, blah,
nay.
right? It's this and that, or he's moving to Texas, he's getting transferred bases, right? You want to find out why do they want to sell? I mean, you'll find the ones who, they just want the most. They don't care. They own 10 properties. We're waiting for the highest offer. Their motivation is down there. We really don't want to touch those. But yeah, hope that answered.
Yeah, it does. Thank you very much. Yep.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna end it there. Bring all your questions to the Discord, to the Facebook. And we thank all you guys for coming. Keep coming to these, man. We have these twice a week. I know Pace told us to tone them down to one, but I mean we love to give back. So we still do our Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays at 4 o'clock Mountain Time, Fridays at noon. Make sure to get in the Discord. A lot of things going on there. We have another virtual office, I think tomorrow, right, Rachel?
It's Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, Thursday.
1 to 3 p.m.
Virtual office. Come in there with your questions. Come in there and be like, hey, I got an agent, awesome agent. She's open to creative. I don't know what to say. We'll call it right there and you'll listen to it on the Discord. And that's what awesome about Discord is it's not like a Zoom. It's literally like a virtual office. You just click in and you can be sitting there all day and just clicking, hey, I need help with this. Boom, click out. Even though we have it a couple hours, but still. Jake, did you still want to say something? Jake wants to say something before we get.
Yeah, thank you guys all for coming. The best way to get support from us is going to be Discord, the fastest way. Another incentive for you guys. This Friday, we're going to be hosting a giveaway in Discord. It's a surprise. I can't tell you guys what it is, but we are giving away 3 gifts in Discord. So make sure you guys get in there. You guys are going to be able to enter the giveaway on Friday, and we'll probably pick a winner next week. But a little incentive to get you guys in there. If you guys want the fastest support, it's going to be Discord, and there will be a giveaway on Friday, just to let you guys know.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to everybody. Stan, 63 people still in here. We only dropped off a few. And if you reach out to one of us on social media and we don't get right back to you, it's not that we don't want to. We might have lost that message. So do it again. The Discord's the best place to get the help. Submitting the leads is the best thing to do because then there's a timestamp and a record. Then we can get back to you. But when it's in our social media, if the lead's all there, then we're searching for it everywhere. So let's try to be consistent on that so that way we don't miss anybody. But we're never doing it intentional. We have the best intentions for you. So it's never like we're dodging you or dissing you. It's just that the logistics of it, it's all over the place. So I want to give that before everybody takes off. And we appreciate it. 63 people still on here. So that's dope. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, real quick, is the best place in Discord? I'm new to Discord. Is that the general chat to ask questions?
Yeah, or use a support ticket. There's a little link that says support ticket. When you use that, picks to our emails and tells us right away, hey, somebody
Hey,
needs
Jake.
has a specific question.
We'll make a.
Oh, okay.
You can make some Loom videos, right, that we can send out to everybody as long as we got everybody's email, which I think we do. Send some Loom videos out, quick ones, 2 minute, 3 minutes to show you each different thing. Would that help everybody out? Probably.
Yeah, you guys will see that in Facebook, Discord, on all of our platforms. There's going to be tutorials on onboarding. I know a couple of you guys are facing some issues. I'm working on it right now. You guys will have an update probably tomorrow with some Loom videos and some stuff with onboarding to fix some of the problems you guys might be having.
Excellent.
Sweet. Well, and just one thing before you guys go, before you guys start dropping off. Again, thank you. We love to give back. We love to help you guys. This is like so fun for us. We just love to do this all the time. One way you could help us is to shout us out, right? It costs you nothing. Just go on creative page, say, hey, real estate problem solvers, Joey, Dom, Dylan, Jake, right? They did this for me. Whatever you want to say, or they sucked. I hate them, right? Whatever you want to say about us. Just be honest, truthful, and that would help us if you just shout us out a little
Make
bit.
sure you say I'm handsome, though. That's the one thing.
Yeah,
Like Bruce
exactly.
Willis,
But
that's
we
what
thank
Pace
you
says it is.
guys. Thank you guys. Let's get every single. There's 63 in here still, so I can tell there's 63 of the most action takers are still in here because there was 80 in here. So I can tell all you guys are action takers. Let's get 63 of you a deal this year. So let's put in the chat 63.
This month. Let's go. Next month, because we only got a day left in this month. So
Let's go. Let's get 63 deals. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you Friday.
And Saturday at the
Thank
meetup.
you.
Oh yeah, Saturday meetup. Be there.